There's a shift happening right now that most people running solo businesses haven't fully noticed yet. It's quiet, no flashy announcements. But if you're a freelancer, consultant, or one-person operation feeling stretched impossibly thin, this might be the most important trend to understand this year. Picture a late evening in a small home office. The desk lamp casts a warm glow over a cluttered keyboard. You're juggling client emails, chasing invoices, updating your website, and somehow still trying to do the actual work you're paid for. That feeling of being pulled in 12 directions at once? It's not a personal failing, it's a structural problem. And AI agents for solo business owners are starting to solve it in ways that weren't possible even 18 months ago. Here's the thing. Most conversations about artificial intelligence focus on big corporations or sci-fi futures. But the people who might benefit most are the ones working alone, handling everything themselves, with no team to delegate to. Let me explain what's actually changing and why it matters for your specific situation. This is about potential trends, not financial advice. But the patterns here are worth your attention. First, let's get clear on what an AI agent actually is, because the term gets thrown around loosely. Think of it like this. A regular AI tool is like a calculator. You ask a question, you get an answer, and then you decide what to do next. An AI agent is different. Imagine a river that doesn't just flow downhill, but actually carves its own path, adjusting around obstacles, finding the most efficient route to the ocean over time. That's closer to how these systems work. An AI agent can take a goal, break it into steps, execute those steps across multiple tools, check its own work, and adjust when something goes wrong. You're not babysitting every action. You're setting a destination and letting it navigate. The screen of a project management dashboard refreshes automatically, tasks moving from one column to another without human hands touching them. That's the visual reality of what this looks like in practice. Now, why does this matter specifically for solo businesses? Because the biggest constraint you face isn't usually skill or even money. It's time and cognitive load. When you're the CEO, the marketing department, the accountant, and the customer service team all rolled into one person, every small task carries hidden weight. Switching between roles burns mental energy. The friction adds up like sand in gears. AI agents for solo business owners act as force multipliers, not by replacing your judgment on important decisions, but by handling the repetitive connective tissue that holds everything together. Consider a real pattern emerging right now. A freelance designer wakes up to find that overnight, an AI agent has sorted incoming project inquiries, drafted personalized responses, updated her scheduling system, and flagged 2 potential high-value clients for her morning review. The soft click of a mouse in a sunlit kitchen, coffee steam rising beside a laptop. She's reviewing decisions, not making hundreds of small ones from scratch. If you're finding this useful, consider subscribing. We break down these shifts every week so you can stay ahead without drowning in noise. But let's be honest about what these agents can and cannot do, because the hype machine loves to skip this part. Current AI agents work best on structured, repeatable tasks with clear inputs and outputs. Email triage, data entry, basic research synthesis, appointment scheduling, social media posting, invoice follow-ups. They struggle with anything requiring genuine creativity, complex negotiation, or deep contextual judgment about human relationships. If a task requires reading between the lines of a tense client email, you're still the irreplaceable one in that conversation. The texture of a worn notebook filled with handwritten client notes, the specific knowledge of how one customer prefers direct communication, while another needs more gentle handling. That intuition isn't automatable yet. Here's a question worth sitting with. What percentage of your work week is actually high judgment, creative, relationship-building work? And what percentage is administrative scaffolding that supports it? For most solo operators, the honest answer is uncomfortable. Sometimes 70% of time goes to tasks that don't directly create value for clients. AI agents attack that 70%. The economics here are genuinely interesting. Traditional scaling for a solo business meant hiring contractors or employees. That brings overhead, management time, communication friction, and risk. AI agents offer a different path. The cost of running sophisticated automation has dropped dramatically, often falling to a few $100s monthly for tools that would have required a part-time assistant before. A bank notification glowing on a phone screen, showing a subscription charge that's a fraction of a human salary. That's the new math many solopreneurs are calculating. But this raises a moral tension worth naming. If AI agents for solo business become widespread, what happens to the entry-level virtual assistant roles that helped many people start their own careers? The efficiency gains for some may mean fewer opportunities for others. I don't have a clean answer to that. But honest analysis requires acknowledging trade-offs, not pretending they don't exist. Let's flip the script for a moment. There's a counter-argument that deserves attention. Some people worry that relying on AI agents creates dangerous dependencies. What happens when the tool changes its pricing? What if the system goes down during a critical client deadline? What if you've outsourced so much process knowledge that you couldn't function without these systems? These are legitimate concerns, not paranoia. The sensible approach is treating AI agents like any business tool, useful but not irreplaceable. Maintain documentation of your processes. Understand what the agents are doing. Keep the ability to do essential tasks manually if needed. A dusty filing cabinet in a corner of a home office, labeled folders still visible inside. That backup system isn't romantic, but it's smart. The most successful solo operators using these tools seem to share a specific mindset. They don't see AI agents as magic buttons. They see them as junior team members who need clear instructions, occasional supervision, and defined boundaries. Setting up an effective AI agent workflow takes time up front. You're essentially documenting and systematizing processes you might have kept loosely in your head. That initial investment pays off over months, not days. The glow of a screen at midnight, someone building out a workflow diagram, the tedious setup work that makes future mornings easier. So where is this heading? If public research and industry patterns tell us anything, we're likely to see AI agents become standard infrastructure for solo businesses within the next few years. Not optional tools, but expected foundations. The solo operator who ignores this shift might find themselves competing against individuals who effectively run like small agencies. One person with the output capacity of 3 or 4. But here's the core surprise that changes how you should think about all of this. The real advantage isn't just doing more. It's doing different. When you reclaim 15 hours a week from administrative tasks, the question becomes, what do you do with that time? The winners won't simply scale volume. They'll reinvest that bandwidth into the deeply human work that no agent can touch. Relationship building, creative thinking, strategic positioning, the conversation over dinner with a potential collaborator, candlelight flickering as ideas spark. That can't be automated. AI agents for solo business owners don't replace you. They replace the need to hire, letting you stay lean while operating at a higher level. But they also raise the bar. Because if everyone has access to the same tools, differentiation comes from the uniquely human elements you bring. Results depend on your effort, skills, and how thoughtfully you implement these systems. There are no guarantees, only possibilities. Here's your takeaway. Start small. Identify one repetitive workflow that drains your energy, maybe email sorting, maybe invoice tracking, and explore whether an existing AI agent tool can handle it. Well-known technical documentation from major platforms is worth a look as you evaluate options. I'm curious what you think. What's the one task in your solo business you'd hand off to an AI agent tomorrow, if you could? Drop it in the comments. The answers might help someone else solve the same problem. If this gave you something to think about, subscribe for more breakdowns like this. We'll see you in the next one.